point. Just some fast things. VMware just celebrated our 25th anniversary. Our headquarters are based in Palo Alto, California. And as you can see on the screen, I won't read all of the different pieces, but the piece that I want to highlight is that by partnering with VMware, you're partnering with an innovator. You can see that we had over 5,500 patents. When you think of those patents, that should be that innovation piece that you're looking at. We're always trying to improve and to ensure that customers have the right experience with our solutions as we move forward. In addition to the actual products that we produce, we also are a company that really believes in making a difference in the world through our environmental, social, and governance activities. So the technologies that we are creating really are not only good to get the networks working accordingly, but it also is done in a way that is more energy efficient, et cetera. And that's where I think it's pretty interesting when you look at our product suites and a little bit more about kind of the history of VMware. We started in 1998. So again, 25 years that we've been just here. But the first thing and the thing that a lot of people recognize VMware for is virtualization. And I'm going to share a little bit about, well, what does that mean? How should you think about it? But I want to highlight for you, as you look at the company history, it's not just about virtualization that VMware does anymore. We're about multi-clouds. We're about how do you take solutions for customers that will allow them, regardless of whether or not they're using public clouds or private clouds, but how do we help them navigate kind of this new world of clouds? So I want to highlight, as you look at the slides that talk about our history, please keep in mind virtualization was where we started, but now as you look at to where we're going, we're really kind of in that cloud first mentality as we move forward, and cloud smart. Now, so what is this virtualization thing that VMware started and is most known for up until this point? Now we're getting more known for the cloud piece. Well, this may seem pretty simple, but I think it's a good way to think about virtualization. How many of you, and you can raise your hand on the chat for, just so I can see, there's an area on the chat that says, raise hand, or you can put it in the board. But how many of you have ever wanted to clone yourselves? Anybody want to clone themselves? Because I don't know about you, but some days it feels like there is so much to do and there's not enough time. Has anybody ever wanted to clone themselves? I see some nods with the people who have their voice. I see hands, I see pumps, fist bumps. So some of you do want to clone yourself. And when you clone yourself, it allows you to be able to do lots of different things at the same time. So in theory, you could reduce kind of that piece. You'd probably be more efficient because maybe Emmanuel would be working at VMware. He'd be caring for his children, if you have children, Emmanuel, or maybe taking care of his parents. He could do that all at the same time and still get home in time to put his feet on the couch and just relax watching his favorite sporting event. Well, virtualization, if you take that concept of cloning and you think about, well, what about a computer? Well, if you virtualized a computer, just like Emmanuel getting much more efficient when he was cloned, computers become much more efficient and they can do multiple things at once if they're actually virtualized correctly. So when you think about that, virtualization optimizes the available compute resources for a given piece. Now, let's dive into that a little bit more. So now that we've cloned ourselves and we've cloned our computers, we have to think about, when we think about cloning, particularly in the compute space, think about your hardware and software. And some of you probably have smartphones, or you have laptops, or you have home computers. What happens when you think about hardware and software, similar to yourself, your brain controls your actions and software controls your hardware, your body. So as you think about software and you think about the computer actions, software actually controls what happens in a computer. So you'll be able to run most efficiently. Now, when you think about it, virtualization is that layer between the physical hardware of a device and the operating system. Now, that enables you to create one or more copies on that one device. So you don't have to buy 10 computers anymore. You could buy one computer and leverage the operating systems or clone the operating system in multiple places. Now, you may have heard this concept of a virtual machine. So a VM stands for a virtual machine. And when you think about virtualization, it creates the virtual hardware by cloning the physical hardware. So in theory, while I can't clone Emmanuel just yet, I am able to clone the hardware and the physical hardware within your computer. And you can see on the right of the screen, there's a lot of different components that make up hardware and physical hardware. The one piece that you want to really look at is that hypervisor. Now, some of you may be going, Jackie, I still don't understand it. What can I do? Take the course. So I'd encourage you, there's a Cloud Invert course you can take today, and I'll put it in the chat window. IT Academy and TechQuest are partnering together to give you better understandings of these particular things. So if you want to figure out a bit more, that's why you're here. You'll be able to do that. And some of these slides that you're seeing are based upon our Cloud Invert course, which is one of the first courses that can give you a taste of, well, what's this cloud thing that people are talking about, or the private clouds that you may have on your phones to store your pictures. But think about kind of how do you learn this? So from a VM, that virtual machine, it's a hypervisor. One computer can clone multiple OS simultaneously. So maybe you have on your computer, you're doing work on your computer, maybe you have a gaming setup on your computer using kind of the operating system simultaneously. Now, I'm going to ask you this question, and I'll see kind of if your computer were to be able to clone and run multiple operating systems at once, why do you think businesses would like that? Could you put that in the chat window? Why do you think, just like we want Emmanuel to be cloned, we want our computers, what's the benefit if we were to do that? Anybody have any ideas? Running costs may be low. Yeah, without a doubt. If you can avoid purchasing hardware and you have software that can do that, efficiency, productivity. Yes, all of that is the reason why virtualization is so important. Just like if you were to clone yourself, if you were to clone your computers, you would be able to do that. Now, the other piece that I think is really interesting, and this is when you think about VMware and you think about kind of what we're doing, not only is virtualization productivity, increases productivity, it also results in less energy consumption because you're not using as many servers. So when you think about the impact to the environment, when you think about VMware and virtualization, think about the fact that there is less energy consumption. And I don't know about all of you, in the United States where I live, the cost of energy has gone very, very high. So VMware, we're more than just virtualization, and my good friend Nevine is going to be talking about that in just a second. And IT Academy provides you not only the knowledge of virtualization, but it provides you the knowledge of security, modern apps, multi-cloud, kind of a whole spectrum of solutions that Nevine is going to highlight. So when you think about VMware, we're hoping to build the trusted foundation to accelerate innovation. Virtualization was where we started. Cloud is where we're headed moving forward. Now, I gave you just a taste, hopefully enough to make you go, I'm so glad I'm at TechQuest and I'm going to learn with IT Academy. I'm really excited for this activity, for this partnership to come to fruition. And I'm excited because you're on the pathway to becoming digital smart. And when I think about the opportunities that are ahead for many of you on this call, it's limitless. Once you learn technology, you enable so much more overall. So I'm thrilled for our partnership, and I look forward to continuing to work with you all over the next couple months. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie, for that. Thank you so much. Please, if you have questions for Jackie, you could put them in the chat box. We'll take the questions. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. Okay.
And I
All
can
right. So please, if there are any questions, then we'll take them. Just put it in the chat box as we go along. When we get to the question and answer session, we could also take them there. Thank you very much once again, Jackie, for your presentation. And then now we would move on to our next speakers. I will just share my screen again. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Nope.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I will be introducing our next speakers. We have Nevine, who I've introduced earlier, the Senior Manager, Middle East and Africa for VMware. So Nevine has been with VMware since 2019, and she's deployed a lot of programs across Africa, Middle East, and she has a wealth of experience building private public partnerships and positioning companies as key stakeholders. She has a degree in business administration, academic degree from Cairo University, and also an advanced project management certification from Harvard Business School. Prior to VMware, she spent over 14 years at Cisco Systems. She led the Corporate Affairs Commission, CSR Global Engagement Organization. And before then, she was the Vice President of FinRate Consulting, a reputable business consulting firm in the Middle East. So she's bringing a lot of her professional career experience in the region and across business consulting towards this. So Nevine, you are welcome. Welcome here. And then also, I would also like to introduce to you again, Mr. Emmanuel Adeogun. So Mr. Emmanuel, he's the Senior Manager for West, East, and Central Africa at VMware. And in his role, he oversees the region and the day-to-day management of customer relationships management and strategic accounts management. He has a BSc in electronics and computer engineering, and he boasts of more than 20 years experience in IT, within the IT industry. And then he has also deployed solution-based selling across management selling across Africa. He brings sound technical experience and in-depth knowledge and understanding of multi-cloud application modernization and modern technologies into his role here at VMware. So thank you very much. You are also welcome, Emmanuel. Nevine will be speaking about VMware IT Academy, and then Emmanuel will be speaking about the VMware regional footprints, the past, the present, and the future. So over to you.
Thank you very much. I guess I'll just start off by just providing an overview of where we are. And thank you, Jackie, for a very sound introduction of our technology and sort of given the call to action that people should join a class to learn more about this. first of all, we're delighted to be partnering with you, and we're excited about this launch, largely because technology on its own does not do the magic. Technology still requires human resource to be able to effectively deliver the value. Part of the vision behind not just VMware, but also the vision driving IT Academy that Nevine would speak to later on is how do we enable the right resources? How do we contribute our quota towards human capital development in Africa? As an organization, we've invested significantly in Africa, and most recently, we've opened two new regional offices in Nigeria and in Nairobi. This is part of our commitment to the development of Africa and helping Africa businesses and people in Africa bridge the gap and enable them to be major contributors towards the new digital workspace and market space that we have. So we are very much delighted to be here, and there is a lot that we are offering as part of human capital development, which is part of the reasons why the VMware IT Academy was set up. Commitment to Africa is significant, and we'll continue to develop resources and skill sets in Africa. So beyond you getting this training, you would have an opportunity to numerous. You will have an opportunity to work for the numerous companies that are looking for skills around this technology. So if you're looking for why should I, as an individual, be investing my time in getting this skill, the demand for VMware and virtualization and technology skill set in Africa is growing by the day, and that's why we are happy to partner with you. I'll hand over to Nevine now to provide more insight on IT Academy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel and Jackie, actually, for paving the road to me to talk a little bit about our efforts with the VMware IT Academy and how we align to the business vision. I'm starting by saying that talking about technology a little bit, I mean, technology is really reshaping our expectation. It is transforming almost every sector of every industry, from media to banking to healthcare to agriculture to manufacturing to even transportation and education. If we see traditional industries like agriculture, it has been transformed with the help of digital technologies. Farmers growers are employing every day drones and edge devices for smart farming with big data. Also, technology has helped, has enabled a connected and accessible healthcare delivery through electronic medical records, for example, delivery of healthcare solutions, as well as telemedicine. When we come to banks, I mean, it has been a revolution in banks now. We're now doing all what we want to handle in terms of financial matters as customers, because banks are increasingly moving online, very sophisticated services, so that we can access those services in a convenient and secured manner from anywhere. So what are we doing to help our students learn about those IT solutions so that they can find a job or even at an entry level in one of those industries? Because all industries now are deploying the innovative and the new innovation in technology. If you look at our children, for example, if you give a small device to any child in seconds, actually, I have my grandchildren, they're 10 years old. In seconds, I mean, they can enter any website, they can download whatever they want. The same is happening at the employers. All the employees now are depending on technology. So creating the first wave of digital transformation. So do we have the knowledge to keep up? Instead of educating for jobs that will be disrupted, why don't we think to educate students who will disrupt the jobs? To know that, we have to talk about technology domains, the VMware technology domains. Until very recently, when you say, for example, VMware technology solution, what do you think we mean by that? Is it virtualization, like Jackie mentioned only? Is it server virtualization? Some would think also, yes, they have software-defined storage, but no. We have all those technology domains. We have app modernization, development, and operations of the applications. We have the multi-cloud, anything related to data center and cloud management. We have the digital workspace. All the applications that are created are managed in a specific way so that it can increase the productivity and performance of the employees. We have also the virtual cloud network, and we have intrinsic security. So it was our mission when one might ask me, Nevine, how VMware IT Academy is really engaging and aligning with the business objectives. That's how we are aligning with the business objectives. We created courses with training materials that provides a practical experience to our learners under each and every single technology domains. So we grouped all the building blocks of each technology domain and consequently developed courses aligning with an entry-level job in each and every single technology domain, and it was done. So what about the IT Academy in Africa and the Middle East? We only focus on the people to provide them with entry-level skills, which the employers will need to secure the digital futures. We have 42 academies in 21 countries. We extend our partnerships through public-private partnerships between academic and between VMware and specific market segments, non-profit segments, academic and government institutions, as well as non-profit organizations. And as you can see, TechQuest logo has been added here, and we are very excited and pleased about that, because in our opinion, these are the kinds of organizations that will maximize the outreach to the biggest number of learners and provide them with certifications and chances and opportunities to find jobs. Specifically, that the technology, as Jackie mentioned, is very innovative, and it is very rare to find the right talent to please Emmanuel when he, for example, will make a deal and he will look after the talent to deploy this project. We also, through the VMware IT Academy, we are offering products. The products are aligned to the 5 franchises that are set by our company and enable the digital foundation, extend the adoption of VMware technologies. The market segments that we are allowed to, because we are a for non-profit program and we are giving back to the community, and it's a force for good program, so we're not allowed to work with commercial training centers or education centers. We're only allowed to work with government entities, universities, vocational schools, high schools, and as well as non-profit organizations. Now, when it comes to the IT Academy learning journey, at the beginning, we were only focusing on, like, when I joined, at least in 2019, we only found I only found the concept courses, and immediately we used to jump to the professional certification courses. But after discussing all of us together internally in the team, we saw a gap between the basic courses, the basic knowledge, and the advanced knowledge. So what we have created, and as I mentioned earlier, that we have created a course under each technology domain, and each course leading to an industry recognized certification, which is the VCTA certification. And if the learner would like to pursue more training and more skills acquisition into a bit advanced certification, he would go to the professional certification that are also offered by our academy. Now, the concept courses are developed by our partner NDG. They are excellent. I myself took the cloud and virtualization concepts because I really wanted to understand. Yes, I'm a graduate of business administration, but I've been working with Cisco 14 years earlier. So I really wanted to understand the language of the IT companies that I joined. So I took the cloud and virtualization concepts, and I'm telling you, it's excellent. Excellent, excellent. I could understand the objective of each course, the focus of each course, and so on and so forth, and a general idea about virtualization and cloud. But still, we saw that there is a need to introduce a new course, a foundation course, for those who do not, maybe who have very little knowledge about IT, or do not have any knowledge about IT, and they would like to venture and find a job in the IT and technology world. So we have introduced, VMware has developed this course, Getting Started in IT, which covers all the basics concepts of IT, the components of a computer, the operating systems, virtualization, storage, cybersecurity, what have you. It's a very interesting course, and those basic courses, all of them, either the concepts courses or the Getting Started in IT, are free courses that can be accessed by anybody. You don't have to become an academy. To become an academy, it's only for delivering and offering to your learners the certification courses. And of course, after they finish the course, they complete the course, they get a voucher with 70% discount to pass the industry exam with Pearson VUE, either for the core technical skills VCTA courses or for the professional courses VCP courses. We don't only offer course content, but we also offer our software licensing to enable education labs and academic researchers. Those, of course, we all know that any software license provided by a software company, enterprise and commercial customers, they buy them, but we offer them for free to help our students acquire the needed skills, the practical skills they will need when they go on the job. So it can be used in an education setup, but in a non-production environment. So if we take a closer look at our portfolio, you will find that we enable experience, practical experience through our software licenses. We provide the knowledge through our courseware. We recognize and award through the badges that the students get when they finish the concept courses and the certifications that they get when they finish the certification courses. And we prepare for employment using our network, either at VMware offices, and I can give you several examples in my region, or at our business partners that are scattered around the region. So it is very important to become an academy, because you are going to augment the student value that you are already offering to your students. For example, if you are an academic institution, or you are already TechQuest Academy, you are already an academy, you have some content maybe in our field of work that you are offering to your students. We augment this value offering with the industry recognized skills and certifications. So because the employers, when they ask the student, did you study cloud? Yes, I studied cloud. Do you have a certification from a well-recognized company? No, I don't. Okay, no, thank you. Bye-bye. So that's what we do. We augment the knowledge and the value offering that you are already providing with your students, either with our courses and with also the certifications that the students can get discounted if they go through an academy. You help the next generation of talent. You can see now so many people. I am a real example. I come from a business administration background, but I'm working in IT now for over 20 years. So how could I do that? Definitely, I train myself on the job going on, and I use my other expertise that the company needs to deliver my job. So it is helping the past generation like me and the next generation. Also, we are getting advantage of using and leveraging VMware solutions in our education and research labs. Otherwise, I mean, it is going to be very difficult. Normally, not all the company, when they create an academy, companies, when they create an academy with an institution, they provide them for free with their software licensing. So this is something that also the academy benefits from. And also, you can offer the curriculum in any way or form you want to offer it. Either you merge it with your own offering, or you can offer it in parallel with what you are already offering. So I will stop here because I know I only have 10 minutes, but I have other slides if you want. And if I receive any questions, I will show you the slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nevine, for that deep dive into the VMware Academy and how different individuals, irrespective of proficiency, can get started with VMware. So thank you very much. We will still have the question and answer session later. One of the questions that has come up is which of the subjects are most in demand?
Is this question for me?
Yes, it's for you.
What actually we have been conducting a survey to see that, because we wanted really to boost the multi-cloud focus. So thankfully we found that the data center virtualization core technical skills is the subject which is most in demand, as well as the evolution of this course to install, configure, and manage and optimize, standardize and scale that is leading to the VCP certification in data center virtualization. So these are the courses that are mostly in demand.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. So the data center virtualization, and there's an associate level as well as a professional level that traditionally that has been kind of the strength of the IT Academy offer. What we've seen in terms of a job market shift is people who are understanding app development, because in the modern application space, individuals are going to need, and enterprises are wanting to have kind of applications designed to help work in a multi-cloud world. So we anticipate that modern apps track that Nevine had highlighted is going to be something that's going to continue to grow from a job market perspective, as well as that data center virtualization. And then I would say probably the third thing, and I'd be curious, Emmanuel, if you see something different in Africa from a skills perspective, I would be negligent if I don't talk about the importance of security. So security is kind of that foundation for everything. If you don't have a secure network or solutions, you don't develop kind of that trust by your customers, et cetera. So from an IT Academy, traditionally data center virtualization, we're seeing much more growth in kind of the modern apps, and then security is and will always be something that's going to be critical. But Emmanuel, I'd be curious if you've seen That's just from our angle, but I'd be curious in Africa specifically if you've seen something.
No, you're very much spot on. Security has become a hot button topic with most of our customers. But like you rightly started out, app modernization, it's also critical. People are looking beyond just the data center virtualization or infrastructure side of cloud computing. People are looking way beyond that to see how can I become relevant in the new digital age. So you'd see security and you'd see app modernization play a very critical role. But like, as you saw from Nevine's slide, irrespective of where you want to start from, I think the Getting Started program course sort of gives you the foundation on which you can then build on.
And also, if I may add, it depends really on the region. From my colleague with Asia, who's managing Asia Pacific, there is lots of focus from the or development. So it really depends from a region to another, and also maybe some countries in the Middle East. We are trying to do that here now, but it's still Africa specifically. They are really focusing, from what I learned from my regional academies and the different academies, that they want to learn about cloud management and operations. They want to learn about virtualization and data center and storage and security and networking and virtualized networking. That's what they they are focusing on right now.
And Emmanuel asked another question about what aspect of technology has VMware impacted the most. I'd be curious what your answer is. I have something in my head, but I'd be curious what you're thinking. And you're on mute, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I was speaking to myself. So excited about the reality is Africa is playing catch-up game. And I often tell people that technology has become the enabler, the bridge, the piece that bridges the gap between developed and developing world. Fortunately for Africa, we don't have to go through all the phases that the developed world went through in terms of adopting technology. We are able to catch up immediately. So I wouldn't say there is one particular area that resonates with businesses in Africa. We're trying to grab it all, learn everything. Multi-cloud is a critical requirement for us. If you look at what we're going through in Nigeria at the moment, where we're being forced to embrace digital payment platforms, one of the major challenges people have complained about this new drive is, oh, I do transfer, it's not going through. Some of that might be related to not having enough capacity on time and being able to provision those capacity on time. What our technology is doing, and we have seen this in Africa, is where these technologies are deployed, people can easily scale capacity on demand and grow. So that's one. We talked about app modernization. App modernization is it's very, very relevant in Africa. So I wouldn't say there's just one piece that we're contributing to the marketplace in Africa. We're quite fortunate that our offering sort of cuts across every segment. If you're talking modernizing your app, if you're talking cloud infrastructure, if you're talking providing your workforce the ability to work from anywhere, if you're talking how do we secure all these assets that we've put in there. So from my experience, Africa's need is holistic, is total, and it cuts across what we see in Nigeria, what we see in East Africa, and what we even see in Northern Africa. Yes, each country might be at different levels in their journey, but the need and the requirements are the same. Hope that answers your question, Emmanuel.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I had also something I noticed, which I want to share with the audience, is that amazing, how can I say that, our youth and our unemployed people in Middle East and Africa are hungry for knowledge and skills acquisition. this is something that maybe Jackie can also attest to that. I have in Africa and the Middle East, both of them, 42 academies, right? Other regions around the world, in Europe, in the US, they have 4 times the number of my academies and the number of learners. But when you look at certifications, you will find that the biggest number of certifications is coming from Middle East and Africa. It's not coming from any other. I mean, I lead that. The people who are certified, because our students and learners, they see the value of certifications, because our institutions and our partners, which are helping us to deploy our programs in the region, are seeing the value of certifications. So certification is very important. Being educated only is not enough. We have to be educated and attested by a globally recognized exams institution like Pearson VUE that this person has the skills for an entry-level job, for example, in cloud management and operation, or an entry-level job, can have the skills for an entry-level job in applications, operations, or development, right? So this is something that I noticed. So, and I owe the thanks and gratitude to my partners in Middle East and Africa, actually.
Thank you so much, Nevine. I think there are still some questions around certifications, which we'll get into later. And there are some questions. Joshua, I can see you are putting your hands up. We'll take the questions later. Can you put your questions in the chat box, just so that we can be sure that we don't miss any of the questions when we get to the question and answer session. I would like to also introduce some of our speakers that are here for the panel session, which is the next session. And so Jackie, some of Nevine, some of the bits you're talking about certifications, we will take that in this bit. I'm quite excited about it. So we are also having Emmanuel on the panel session, and I also like to introduce some of our other speakers who will also be joining this panel session. Next speaker that will be joining this panel session that we're about to go into is Gbeke Oshinowo, the Technical Advisor, Capacity Development, Women, Youth, and Digital Transformation Center of in Nigeria, so that's DTC. Gbeke works to develop capacities of women and youth, and to use digital and entrepreneurial skills and solutions to transform non-tech MSMEs into digitally optimized and resilient businesses. Before joining GIZ, she spent a couple of years in the non-profit sector, where she set up training school that trained over 2,500 students. She's a graduate of economics and law, and her experience spans across retail, telecoms, media industries in Nigeria and the UK. So Gbeke, once again, you're welcome to join this panel session.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so also we have Dr. Agu Collins, who is the Director of Research and Development from the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA. He's a fulfilled field application engineer, and he's highly skilled, cross-functional, and also has a PhD degree and advanced knowledge of technology products, designs, and development. And he specializes in Internet of Things, system designs, printed circuits designs, advanced embedded systems, and incorporating digital signal processors. You're very welcome, Dr. Agu.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. We also have engineer Steve Obiago, who is the current Group Head IT Infrastructure Management at Access Bank, overseeing the bank and its various subsidiaries and verticals across the African continent and the world. He has many years of experience in information technology, in the financial services, oil and gas, and the manufacturing sector. Before he got appointed to his current position, he was the CIO and Group Head Information Technology at Chikasin Group, a Nigerian organization with over 25 subsidiaries. You're very welcome.
Thanks, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so we will just jump into the panel session and start with some of the, almost like a recap on some of the questions that have been talked about. And so, Emmanuel, I'll start with you. You know, you gave a summary on VMware, the past and the present. Can you almost like give a brief summary again for people that are just joining, just so that we could set the tone of this session?
All right, thank you. And for those just joining, you're welcome. So VMware has been, like Jackie mentioned, it was our 25th anniversary a couple of days ago. And you wonder, oh, just 25 years, but a lot has happened in that 25 years. We've been at the forefront of leading innovation in the digital space. If you look at where we started out from, we started out by sort of revolutionizing virtualization. We don't claim to have invented virtualization, but we brought virtualization mainstream by virtualizing the x86 infrastructure, which was the recipe that sort of changed and made the world grow by creating that client-server model. We sort of championed that field. But today, VMware is no longer regarded as just a virtualization company. We're the cloud infrastructure leader. One of the things that we're doing is driving innovation and helping organizations to take advantage of the benefits of this new digital age. And I love Nevine's slides where she started out and sort of broke it down. Most people often ask me, so what industry do you sell into, or what industry do you appeal to? We sort of appeal to every segment of the market because the world we live in today is now a digital-driven world. If you look at the key things that we deliver, as shown from Nevine's slide, our products our offerings are sort of in 5 categories. We look at app modernization because we've seen that legacy applications that we have are not suited for the modern day. So a lot of organizations are saying, I've had this application for more than 10, 20 years. How do I make sure that that app is relevant in this new digital age? So that's app modernization. Then we talk so much about multi-cloud. Multi-cloud becomes a game changer in everything we do today. Most organizations are realizing that they can't just have infrastructure capacity within their data centers alone. There might be times where they need to federate resources that they have within their data center with resources that are provided by cloud providers, giving them the ability to burst and use other resources when they need them per time. Before now, the argument has always been, should I do a private cloud or should I do a public cloud? We're saying that it's a multi-cloud world. So VMware today is the Switzerland of that multi-cloud world. But beyond app modernization and multi-cloud world, realize that people still need to use technology. So you've got a big bank, you still need to have your users interact with your customers. And that is where we're enabling a digital workspace. We'll call it anywhere workspace, where we're giving users the ability to operate from anywhere. Fortunately, we've had this technology and it was very helpful during the pandemic, where we all can now work from anywhere. Before now, maybe we would have been doing this launch physically, but having this as a virtual launch also attests to the fact that today we all work virtually. And the two other pillars that we deliver on, it's networking. Things must connect to each other. And then security. How do you secure them together? So in a nutshell, those are the 5 key pillars that VMware is driving. And if you look at these 5 pillars, you see that they appeal to every sector. They appeal to every customer base. Funny enough, I saw a picture of someone selling bread a few days ago and was carrying a placard behind me, transfer acceptable. So we're getting to the point where the person selling bread on the streets of Lagos has also gone digital. So the reality is that digital is the way to go, and VMware has been at the forefront of enabling these digital capacity. And we've put our money where our mouth is. Like I mentioned earlier on, we've recently opened 2 regional offices to join Pioneer regional office that was in South Africa. Today, we now have regional offices in Nairobi and in Lagos, just to make sure that we can bring this technology closer to you, our customers. I can continue to talk, but I think I should stop, Telo.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. You've brought out a very key point that a lot of the skills that individuals could develop using the VMware technology are actually skills for the future, and that the future workplace, these are very relevant skills. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Again, please, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. We will take the questions after our speakers have had an opportunity to share their experience. So the next question, Gbeke, I'll be asking you this question, particularly as we are talking about the different skills and opportunities that are available through like this VMware program. In your experience in the developmental agencies, can you talk a bit about the skills gap and why you think it's important to build these technological capabilities? Hello, Gbeke.
Jackie, you mean?
Hello.
Hello.
Gbeke,
Okay.
I think the question was for you.
Was that addressed to me? My internet cut out briefly. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it was addressed
Thank
to
you
you.
very much. So, why? Okay. All right. I wasn't quite sure about that because my internet cut out. So, first of all, I would say that it's important to build these tech capabilities because the current situation with the education standards in Nigeria are seriously lacking. Yet we are looking to become the 3rd most populous country in the world by 2050. And majority of those are going to be people that are born between now and those that are 14, 15 years old. So where there is a deficit in the quality of education that the average Nigerian has access to, what we can do now is make available trainings, capacity development, such as are available at this academy, to give them an opportunity to be a part of the economy, right? Because the thing that I would tie back to something Emmanuel said earlier, that the internet is a bridge and it provides access to opportunities that would not normally be available to people. So where the education system is lacking, we can provide such training so that these people have a means of livelihood and can meet the demand for roles that, you know, if otherwise unmet, are left unmet, then the actual growth and development of the Nigerian economy will fall short. So, so apart from, you know, acting almost like a sort of, I won't say substitute, but something to improve the less than ideal education situation. Yes, leveraging on these technological capabilities in our job market would be fantastic. Now, another thing I would like to speak to is infrastructure. Now, with the internet infrastructure in Nigeria, not the greatest at the moment. I mean, if we talk about meaningful internet connectivity, only about 12% of the Nigerian population has access to 4G internet or above on a daily basis, and also has a smartphone or a device like a laptop with which to be able to access the internet. Now, when we have academies such as the TechQuest STEM Academy, providing trainings, it will also be a place where we have the youth going to access this internet. And while they're being able to access this internet, they're upskilling themselves and making themselves viable in the job market, not just here in Nigeria, but to the world at large, because they're then able to offer their services in the remote work market. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think it really is crucial. And before I round up, I'm going to ask your indulgence of a few more minutes. I was on a call the other day, and there's a young lady who's from Edo State who could not attend university because she was the first of about 7 children and her father just died. So in order to enable her siblings, go to complete their secondary education, she obviously stayed back home. Now, she got a job in Lagos, which afforded her unlimited internet to code online using the unlimited internet. And that over time translated to her getting a role within her organization, right? And becoming a valuable staff. Now, it didn't stop there. From what she learned, she thought, I could teach other people this. And fast forward 5 years later, she owns a company where she trains people virtually on virtual assistant skills. This is all done via WhatsApp and Telegram. So you can see how access to the internet, do you understand, despite the fact that her education was cut short, has transformed her life and the life of her siblings, because her 20-year-old brother is also a facilitator in her training school. And in the last quarter of 2022, they concluded 2,000 training courses. So that's very rudimentary, but then it just goes a long way to see why it is so important to build the technological capabilities of the Nigerian youth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gbeke. Thank you. I think, yes, I think it's quite important to build the technological capability. We have a huge population of young people, and if we harness that capacity that we have, I think we will go a very long way. So thank you very much for that.
Yes.
My next question, I think, is still a build-up from where you've engineered, Steve. So still looking at the capacities and the requirements from an industry perspective, what would you say are the needs in terms of talent within the workforce and for people that should be proficient in IT or with IT skills?
Thanks, Ichiro. I've heard what all my other panelists have spoken to and about, and I think primarily working from the industry perspective, one of the greatest, just to backtrack, one of the greatest problems we see is brain drain, or the Japa syndrome. That is a major problem. And truth be told, you cannot build capacity without human beings around. So I think, based on what I have seen so far, and in terms of the steep situations where young men and women flee the country to go to greener pastures, I think the next thing that should happen is for us to be able to adapt to the new realities of time. We have to keep the people here first. Yes, people can work online, but the truth about it is that if you have your best talents having to leave the shores of the country building that capacity becomes a bit difficult because you can't build on nothing that exists. So I think primarily for us as an institution, the greatest things we need to do is put these young ones in, encourage them to stay back in the country. And while they are back in the country, and while they work in institutions like ours that are very forward-looking, you give them the required trainings around what the future of work is all about. And the truth be told, the future of work is about cloud, it's about working remotely. And these are the things that we need to encourage, the capabilities we need to encourage. And VMware has actually done a great lot in that direction. Working from the perspective of where I sit or where I manage, I really acknowledge what they have done so far in that space. Being able to run an enterprise as big as the bank and running it across several countries, it's not an easy feat. So from the perspective of where I sit and what I have seen based on my experience, there's need to encourage the younger ones. First and foremost, like I said, not to leave the country. And then secondly, for those who are in the country, give them the required encouragement in terms of what the future of work lies around. And this is around virtual work. And even if they have to finally leave to work elsewhere, they can still have that same capabilities that they can get at home. I believe as we progressively move ahead and make the environments better, make it more conducive, and working with the platforms that we have today, especially on the VMware platforms, I believe that we can make much more progress and the encouragement will be there. Also, I think setting up, I'm aware VMware has a virtual academy. It's also important that we encourage people to subscribe or to latch onto those academies. And I'm sure Emmanuel must have spoken on that note, because truth about it is that people no longer want to have stay in a classroom where there's a block around them. They want to work from anywhere. They want to learn from anywhere. And encouraging the younger ones in that direction will be one of the best things that could happen in this dispensation. It's not easy, especially in organizations where you require some physical presence. You know, it's not everything that you can do virtually. No matter how we say it, no matter how we toss and dice it, virtual work is good, but the truth about it is that there are some servers you have to physically see face to face. You understand what I'm saying? Emmanuel understands what I mean. You have to physically see these equipments. You have to physically change boards. You have to physically change memory. So I think having people, like I said initially, keeping people from traveling so much away out of the country, and then infusing that virtualized academy around them to be able to learn more would be the best way forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir, for that. I think we are hearing it, and I think it has been reiterated, the need to see how we can encourage more people to stay in Nigeria and develop their capacities. Let's build from what we have. And then the VMware skills, the VMware programs are a way to be able to ensure that you build capacities. Thank you so much for that. My next question is for Dr. Agu. And then from your experience with government and following the conversations that are happening and the different investments that have been made in building capacities, how do you see the possibility of scaling IT programs like this TQSTEM VMware IT Academy across the country?
Okay, thank you for having me. Coincidentally, I'm actually undergoing a program here in Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, where the minister is giving a lecture to the top management of NIDA on the skills management in line with the fourth industrial revolution. And a lot came up when it comes to skill sets and those skill sets that needs to be embedded in our workforce. Now, I'll mention a couple of things here with respect to skill set. First of all is that, we have a very good asset that could be a liability. The population of Nigeria is 210 million with a median age of 18 and annual growth rate of a little bit below 3%. So the big question is, how can we turn this potential liability to asset? And the only way we can do that is actually through capacity development, especially in line with the requirements of the fourth industrial revolution. So the question is, what are those skill sets that are required by the industry? How can we tweak our curriculum to reflect those skill sets so that we can embed it in our youth, and especially when it comes to outsourcing, for them to play a very, very big role. Now, coming from NIDA, as a director of R&D in NIDA, we have a specially established department called Digital Literacy and Capacity Development Department that's come up with various programs in line with the requirements of fourth industrial revolution, programs such as cybersecurity training, Internet of Things training, IoT training, which I'll talk more about this, and so on and so forth. And again, they're also collaborating with some of the big names in the industry. Coursera module is also being used. So maybe as time goes on, it could be extended to other existing modules. But I have to point out something very, very important. We believe in what we call adaptation of technology. So we don't believe in the copy and paste syndrome, where you take a first world technology to a third world reality, and then it fails. So we try to customize some of those training materials to suit Nigeria, first of all, and also to see those priority areas that we need to build skills, to let our youth acquire those knowledge easily. Besides that, again, we also have some indigenous education technology platform, which I have developed. You must have heard about the Popular Unity Board. It's an IoT AI STEM education kit, which was championed by the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Pantami, and also co-authored by me. So this is a platform which we have created to help build skills in Internet of Things, which happen to be one of the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution. Now we are in the era of convergence of technology. When you talk about the fourth industrial revolution, is the biological world, the digital world, and also the physical world all coming together. So the big question is, since there's a lot of disruptions going on, and due to automation, a lot of jobs will be lost. So, and then according to Davos, World Economic Forum, for each job lost, three more jobs are created. So the big question is, do we have the skill sets to fit into such jobs? So these areas where NIDA is focusing, where we're trying to make our workforce to be future-proof by creating various programs to upskill, what they call digitally upskill them, and also reskill them. And that is all come up with various training programs in line with partners, and so on and so forth. Now, I would like to touch the issue of internet. I think the other speaker brought about the issue of internet, but I want to throw one light. I worked at the Space Agency previously as a director. I worked at the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited. Point of correction, please, okay? The internet, do I use this word? The internet availability in Nigeria today is 100%, 100%. So when you talk about internet, it's not only through cellular network. We have a satellite called NatComSat-1, our satellite, at 42.5 degrees east. That's orbital slot, covering 100% of Nigeria and over 70% of Africa. However, the big question is the access to the internet here remains an issue. The affordability remains an issue, no question about that. But the availability is 100%. So even before the Starlink came live in Nigeria, we already have a communication satellite that actually delivers internet across Nigeria and across board. I think it's something I have to mention. Then again, the issue of Japa syndrome, I must touch here. My department, research and development, we came up with an initiative called a brain circulation program. I mean, it's not always bad to have a brain drain because if you don't manage it well, then it becomes a one-way system. But if you're able to organize it, it can have us a brain gain. So we came up with an initiative where we're engaging the diasporas over there, how we can partner with them to develop the R&D ecosystem in Nigeria that will help drive innovation and that will help create jobs and also create other startups in Nigeria. So this, not quite long, the continental president of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization Europe, Dr. Bashir, he flew all the way from Moscow to pay a courtesy visit to NIDA, where we discussed at length some of the modalities of cooperation with the NIDO Europe, and then how we can work together and see how we can tap some of those talents from outside of Nigeria, to embed or infuse, some of those knowledge, investments, support system, and what have you, into the population in Nigeria. So the brain drain, the brain circulation program, we hope could mitigate the Japa syndrome, which we're all experiencing now. Now, I must point out again, NIDA has done so much when it comes to innovation. Besides creating infrastructure now with the fourth industrial revolution, we have what they call the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, under which platform 2 Nigerian startups went to the LEAP program in Saudi Arabia, each of them winning $150,000. You could Google that and see it. So they brought home to Nigeria $300. So saying that we're so backward when it comes to technology, I think I tend to agree with that. We're up and doing. I mean, we're catching up with the fourth industrial revolution. Yes, we lost out in the first. We lost out in the second, they lost out in the third Africans, but the fourth one, we're carrying active participation when it comes to that. There's a lot of gains already coming in that respect. So I think I'll stop here because I need to run off to join the training once more, but I'm ready to take some questions now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Agu. Thank you very much for that insight into a perspective, looking at it from a government perspective. Just before we go into the questions, Nevine, I'd like you to take this question. First, the question is that for a young Nigerian without much experience or tech skills, how can they get started with the TQSTEM VMware Academy? And what recommended pathway would you suggest?
Okay. Let me share again. It's a very good question, first of all. That's why we have, distributed the learning journey as shown in the slide right now. So a young student who doesn't have any idea about IT or wants to learn about IT and virtualization and so on can get started with the Getting Started in IT. I explained before, it is a course that is covering all the basic concepts of IT. What are the computer components? What are the operating systems? What does it mean? What does it mean virtual machine? What does it mean virtualization? What does it mean HTML and World Wide Web, cyber security, even application development, some module about application development and so on. So Getting Started in IT is a very good start. By the way, in Egypt, we have signed a partnership with the government, with the Ministry of Communication, to enter Getting Started in IT in schools from grade 7. So as you can see here, the portfolio of our courses, it really helping us to segment the students' markets. So Getting Started is from grade 7 to grade 12, for example. And concept courses, it can be taught in grade 11, 12 in schools, and then beginning of universities, and then the VCTA courses or certification courses leading to the VMware Certified Technical Associate level. This is at the beginning early years of universities, and you learn all the professional certification as you get along after finishing this one. So that's the learning journey in our that's the pathway of how to approach the VMware education. Actually, all the foundation courses, they introduce the learners to the key concept they will use every day in their IT careers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Answer the question, or
yes, I think that answered the question. The next question is, would these slides be available to the participants?
Yeah, you can send them. I sent you the slides. You can make them available to them. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I understand Dr. Agu is about, before you leave, there's a question here for you. The question is, given all the capacity that you've mentioned regarding the internet, and what are like the plans to commercialize it, and what has been the benefit before Starlink showed up, and how is it relevant now?
Okay, right now I work for NIDA as director R&D, but by virtue of the fact I already work for NatComSat, I will try to answer the question. Now, the NatComSat 1R is a quad-band satellite having Ka band, Ku band, C band, and also L band for navigation. So the government established NatComSat Limited as a commercial entity. So currently, the government has 100% shares. So normally, NatComSat gives services to schools. Also, like for NIDA interventions, we also utilize the services of NatComSat when NIDA interventions involves us going to the rural areas in the philosophy of digital inclusion, where we build, where we equip centers with computer, with internet, with backup energy, which is very key. All this discussion would not happen if there's no robust energy system. That's one of the areas NIDA spend a lot of attention, how we can actually create affordable energy system to drive all these technology. So the internet is available right now, and people keen to it. We have different subscription package. So if you get across to NatComSat, you could check natcomsat.gov.ng. We can get more information because I've left the company 2015, so I would do know other products they have. But the availability of internet, Visa, that satellite-based internet, is 100%. It's there, people use it. Now, with the coming of Starlink, of course, competition creates a healthy environment. I think competition brings about quality and even price drop. Maybe that could make everybody wake up in Nigeria, pay the telcos, both the satellite operators, and so on and so forth. So we're still watching what the Starlink solution is going to change in Nigeria. I've not tested it myself, but we're getting different, different feedback with respect to people that already tested the platform here in Nigeria. So for me, I'm looking at it both ways. It could be a curse, it could be also a blessing. But at the end of the day, it's creating more opportunities, what we call connectivity mix. So you don't have to depend on only one vendor to have access to the internet. So I see it as also an advantage which Nigeria could tap into as well. I don't know if I've answered your question, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Agu. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Our next question is Emmanuel or Nevine. This question be for you. Can someone learn all the subjects, or is it one subject at a time? And they want to confirm if it's virtual and can it be physical too?
I can answer that, Emmanuel. No, I mean, what do he means by subject courses? He can study several courses if he can do that.
Yes, they take several courses at the same time.
If the person who can do that is a little genius, but no, I mean, I think no, subject by subject. So course by course, you start a course, you complete it, you get certified, you move to the other based upon your direction. Where do you want to specialize in? Is it virtualized networks? Is it cloud management and automation? Is it modern app? But we always, I mean, it's not mandatory, but we always recommend to start with a data center virtualization course if the person wants to get certified, I mean, because that covers the core technology of VMware, from which he can span off to different directions to the different domains. When it comes to face-to-face or online, it depends on TechQuest if they are going to offer, for example, Zoom training as virtual training to their students, or they can also offer it face-to-face training.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that, Nevine. And the next question is for Engineer Steve. So the question is, how do you convince people to stay back when the primary driver for the immigration is about pay disparity?
Okay, that's a very good question. We are all here. We stayed back. I think it's a personal convention on making sure you get your country to where other countries are like. Those countries where you are so keen on going to did not materialize in perfection over 1 year or 2 years. America has been around for 100 years. Canada did not just become Canada yesterday. Most of the countries people are migrating to, there were people that paid the sacrifice. We hear of Martin Luther King. We hear of the Kennedys. In several climes, there are people that have to pay the price for a country to be what it is like. Today, people like us, Emmanuel, myself, we all pay the price. We're in the country, despite the frustrations. I think it's a matter of self-conviction. It's not about convincing you to stay. It's a matter of you taking that decision yourself to say, I want to salvage the country. I want to make this country right. I want to do things that will change the effects of this country. I believe with the kind of encouragement we give, Access Bank, for instance, is one of the greatest employers of labor. We employ well over 5,000 to 10,000 Nigerians. I'm very certain that that is enough conviction that there are still individuals and institutions who have decided to sacrifice for this country. Personally, based on my qualifications, I would go anywhere in the world to work, but I have decided to stay back and salvage the country. And I think a lot of us have to have that sacrifice. So I think it's encouraging for people like us. I'm sure Emmanuel is in the country right now. I know he travels frequently, but I'm very certain that Itoro, you are in the country. You are not, I mean, we're all here together, and we're trying to build this technology, even with all the issues we have around. I think we are the encouragement that you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that response. Thank you so much for that.
May I add a comment, Otoro?
Yes, please.
Otoro, please, regarding that, because I have been through many experiences as an Egyptian specifically. It depends really on the market saturation. So it's like supply and demand, right? So if you are demanding people with the VMware technologies and you can't find them, if there are Egyptians who are trained, the country will make it possible to keep them, because they will not have even the chance or the time to think about an offer from outside, because they will get the same salaries. They'll be working in multinational companies or big banks or big large enterprises, or even with the government. They pay them very well, because it's like looking for diamonds in the desert, right? So the point I'm trying to make, I agree with Steve 100%. People should stay. They should serve their local market first, and then if they aspire. Personally, I've been offered when I was at Cisco to relocate like 5-6 times. Each time I say no, because I didn't yet complete my mission towards my country and the region I'm working for. So the point is that it's a supply and demand thing. It's not that if I go and work in England or in Dubai or in South Africa or wherever, I'll get a better salary. It's the same salary, because you have skills and knowledge that nobody else has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that's that explains it more. Yeah, the differences in staying here, earning in different currency, and being able to get decent work here. It's really quite insightful. So thank you very much, Nevine. I have a follow-on question, Nevine. There's a follow-on question here regarding with the different competitions that are available for VMware. Why should one learn with VMware rather than going with maybe other types of technologies?
Well, thank God. we don't have a direct competition until now. We don't have a direct competition, actually. We are market leaders when it comes to cloud architecture management and virtualization. So there is no direct competition. But on the contrary, we have other companies like AWS, for example. They have their own academic program and so on. But AWS is our partner. We manage also their public cloud. So the point is that we don't have a competition. We're market leaders in the 5 domains which I mentioned in the presentations. So people are really requesting to become members in the VMware IT Academy, because we are the only ones who exist.
May I also add to that? May I also add to that? I think the question is, why should I invest in this VMware training? The reality, if we also go back to demand and supply, the reality is that the world is changing and changing very fast. The world is becoming a, we always say global village. If there's something that can break it down further than a global village, it's like we're all living in the same house. VMware is uniquely positioned today that we are the Switzerland of the multi-cloud world. And I'm just picking one of those pillars. So today, everybody wants to build a multi-cloud world. Everybody wants to operate in the cloud. Microsoft is there, Google is there, AWS is there. And when you work with each of these guys, they always tell you, oh, come to me, come to me. But you need to be able to glue all the clouds together. And that is one unique thing that VMware is able to do today. But beyond that, VMware has been a leader for innovation, and we have constantly driven innovation. If you look at the market share that we control or we have today, not because we were bullish in selling, but because we were innovative, you'll see that it's no brainer to build skills around the offerings that we're bringing to the market. If we had not remained an innovative organization, we would maybe have gone extinct and would no longer be relevant. But as an organization, we have built capacity, we have built, we brought innovative offering to the market. Yes, there are several companies out there today that want to be like VMware, that are doing what VMware did a couple of years back. But I think that our track record as an innovative company and being a leader in those 5 categories I would clearly mention makes us very, very attractive. And we would love to have you become one of our disciples and one of our people propagating our gospels on the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll just take 3 more questions because of time, just so that we can get into the last bit before we round up. The next question is for Steve. How can an international bank like Access Bank utilize the TQ VMware Academy to improve availability for tech talent?
Well, the truth about it is we're already utilizing it already. We're already doing that. We have the latest VMware infrastructures, the VX1000 vBlock environments. We already have those, which we already have our colleagues who are either young or just joined also learning on. We have training vouchers, which we usually get from VMware. I think for us as an institution, one of the foremost leading institutions in Africa, we're already on that path. It's not history for us. We've been on that path for over 2-3 years right now. And I think it's been quite a journey. And I think we're still digging deep in to work closely with the VMware team and the Dell team, the VMware team in extension, to be able to get these further trainings. It's something that we are consistently looking at and we're working towards to make sure we enhance the utilization of those vouchers. We're able to give our people training. So it's an ongoing journey. It's not a one-off thing. It's an ongoing thing, and we are currently in partnership with VMware to do all those trainings with vouchers and the rest. I hope that answers the question.
Steve, may I ask you a question, please? The vouchers you're getting are from VMware Commercial Learning, right? Not VMware Academy, right?
Yeah, commercial learning, yes.
Yes. So the point is that now with the TechQuest Academy, you have a bigger chance to include additional employees at all levels, actually.
Exactly.
To attend their training and education with TechQuest.
Yeah, like Nevine, that's why it said it's a continuous journey. You know, you gradually get these things in and take advantages of what you have on ground. So I'm going to be liaising with TechQuest team to onboard some of these things as we go along.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The second to the last question, Gbeke, for capacity building, how can we get more female participation in this kind of programs?
Right. I think first things first would be to make it a viable option for women. So for every woman that you see in the tech space today, somebody somewhere validated her interest in tech. It could have been a friend, a spouse, a parent, or mentor. So that is a very key thing because unfortunately at this side of the world, tech, anything got to do with tech is perceived as something more suited to the gender role assigned to a man. So basically it's more of a man's domain, it's for guys. So we need to shift society's perception as a whole, because society encompasses the family, the church, what you see on telly, what your friends think, sort of have a mindset shift about, the roles that women can play in society. And that is also feeding into, taking up opportunities in tech or acquiring digital skills. So to remove those barriers, I have a couple of ideas that I sort of propagate is showcasing and celebrating women in tech, women in the digital space, because they become figures that can be aspirational figures that younger women, girls can aspire to, because, what's she doing? Why is she on telly, or why is she on the cover of this magazine? Why is she receiving a national honor, whatever the case may be? So we just need to highlight, the opportunities in tech for women as something aspirational. I'll also say, with regards to the media, what we watch on television, what we see on social media, I think there is a collective responsibility to sort of push the narrative of having women do these things on telly so that it becomes a norm. It's not strange for a woman to be tech sis. We have the tech bro thing, but let the tech sis thing not be slightly awkward. Let it just be, it's a woman and she's a software engineer, So sort of pushing that narrative in all aspects of the media. And last but not least, I would say in terms of the marketing of digital trainings, digital courses, opportunities, grants, I think, there could be more sensitivity in the design and marketing. I wouldn't just say marketing, but the design of those programs in terms of understanding the constraints and the needs of women to be able to attend that course, as opposed to perhaps a man. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but there are considerations that you put into the planning. Like, for example, one I can easily give is that, traditionally, the burden of maybe picking the children up after school is usually left to a woman, right? So if you have a digital training course and women really want to attend, however, maybe it starts at 12 in the afternoon and it ends at 6. She's struggling to even sign up because she knows that halfway through she has to go across town and fulfill, her responsibilities or whatnot. So even those that do sign up, you'll see that there's a higher dropout rate. So that's just an example of incorporating the needs of the people you're trying to target, which is women, getting them into that space in the design and also marketing of digital skills trainings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So please put your questions in the chat box. I know that we have to round up the session, but we will try and make sure that we would respond to every single question that has been asked, and we would share it via email. So Nevine, the last question we will take is VMware Academy open for collaboration outside Nigeria? Like if we want to expand this TQSTEM VMware courses for other people across Africa, is it open for it? So that's one of the questions.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we are looking forward to set up academies in any country to expand our resources and offerings to other students all over Africa, specifically in Sub-Saharan Africa, I mean.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to all our panel members. Thank you to our keynote speaker, Jackie. Before we go, I would want Charles, the founder of TechQuest STEM Academy, to give the vote of thanks and also a brief of how the TQSTEM VMware IT Academy is, a glimpse of it, and then give a vote of thanks. So I would like to crave your indulgence for another 5-10 minutes. I know that we're running slightly above time. So thank you very much. You're welcome, Charles.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I've thoroughly enjoyed the session. I want to start by thanking everyone for participating. I saw people coming in and staying through till now. I wanted to say that several years ago in 2015, when we started TechQuest, it was basically to enable young people learn their first lines of code, acquire basic digital skills. And here we are today looking at how to participate in the national problem and the solutions thereof, which have been elaborated today. We have over 30 to 40% unemployed people that can work, that should be working, that are unable to work. And one of the things we've identified at TechQuest is that these people could work if they had an IT skill that enabled them to work. And then on the other hand, in Nigeria here, we have about 46 million people working, professionals. And out of these, we estimate that over 36 million of those people do not have the requisite IT skills to support the work that they do. I want to say that this brings us closer to being able to help, to support this group of people, but more importantly, to add value, to create value for the people that acquire these skills and for the companies, the organizations, and the things or the ventures that they may seek to build. And VMware, as has been stated, is at the pinnacle of the virtual or virtualization world. I have been in touch with VMware the past, from the inception of my career, working through the corporates and even till now, which is why we are very excited today and we are happy to have you joining us on this session. I'm happy to also have a co-founder of TechQuest here, Adeogun, who is much in the shadows today, but joined us here. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for being here with us. And we look forward to collaborating with your respective organizations, especially the corporates, but also those an unemployed group of people who our vision from 2021 is to put in places of work to help reduce the tech talent shortage, not only in Nigeria, but globally. And yes, you can learn these skills, stay back in Nigeria, and work across the world, earning foreign currency. So we would like to have you here. And we also like you to support and work with the local companies, the global companies, and those companies with large footprints across Africa, like Access Bank and Co. Thank you very much, team, for putting together this session. And thank you for all the participants.
Thank you very much, Charles. Once again, I would like to thank everyone. Before we go, I would like to ask that we put on our video so that we could take a group photograph or sets of group photographs.
Did we also smile?
Thank you, Doro and Charles, for the support.
Charles, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And please, we would send a recording of this session via email, and then we would also respond to all the questions that have been asked. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. And have a beautiful
Best of luck.
Thank you, TechQuest.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.